valuable lead arrives on Monday morning. Marketing assumes sales will pick it up. Sales assumes it's being qualified. By Friday, nobody has called the prospect and they've signed with someone else. No one failed. No one ignored the lead. It simply fell into the gap between generated and followed up. That's the frustrating bit. Your business may not have a sales problem or an operations problem. It may have an ownership problem hiding between the two. Businesses don't stop growing by accident. They stop growing because leaders miss what's really holding them back. Welcome to Why Businesses Stop Growing, the podcast for business owners, CEOs, and investors who want to build stronger, more profitable, and more valuable businesses. I'm Chris Wimshurst, commercial growth advisor and founder of Hawthorne Advisory. Each week, I'll diagnose the commercial challenges holding businesses back, share practical insights from over 25 years of leadership and commercial experience, and give clear recommendations to help you grow with confidence and build lasting business value. Today, we're going after the hidden growth tax created by Unclear ownership, not a dramatic failure. More often, it's a handful of small delays, a proposal waiting for approval, a customer issue passed from one team to another, a decision that everybody supports but nobody drives. Each delay looks harmless. Together, they slow revenue, increase cost, and make the owner the human glue holding the business together. So what, right? By the end of this episode, you'll have a simple way to find those gaps, work out whether you're dealing with accountability or capability, and fix the highest value problem first. No grand reorganization, no 20-page process manual, just a practical ownership map for the outcomes where delay costs real money. Let's stay with that customer for a moment. Marketing creates the interest. Sales receives the inquiry. A technical person needs to answer a question before the proposal goes out. The proposal is approved, the deal is won, and delivery receives a few notes from the salesperson. Then finance waits for confirmation that the milestone has been reached before raising the invoice. At every stage, capable people are involved. But who owns the result as it moves through the business? This is how growth leaks. The lead isn't contacted quickly enough. The proposal takes 3 extra days. Delivery spends an afternoon reconstructing what the customer was promised. The invoice waits in an inbox. None of these events makes the monthly board pack look like a crisis. But the business has paid for every one of them. In lost conversion, wasted time, reduced margin, delayed cash, and a poorer customer experience. Why does this happen? Usually the business has grown faster than its assumptions. In the early days, the owner knew every customer, quote, an operational snag. A quick conversation solved the problem. Then the business added people, products, customers, and management layers. But the informal arrangements stayed exactly where they were. People still say, I thought you had that. Someone else says, I was waiting for approval. The owner steps in, the issue gets resolved, and everyone moves on. Except the business has just learned a dangerous lesson. If something matters, send it upwards. That is how founder dependence grows, quietly, one escalation at a time. And then there are overlapping roles created by good intentions. Marketing owns demand, sales owns opportunities, delivery owns outcomes, finance owns control. All perfectly sensible until a prospect needs technical input, a customer changes scope, or a commercial decision affects 3 departments. Everyone contributes, everyone has a reasonable view, and the handoff becomes nobody's job. Here's the trap. Leaders say, we all own it. It sounds collaborative. In practice, it can mean nobody owns the outcome. A department can contribute, a team can collaborate, a specialist can challenge the approach. But someone still needs to be accountable for making sure a decision is reached and the result arrives. One owner does not mean one pair of hands. It doesn't mean the owner makes every call or gets a private kingdom. Contributors still do the work, bring expertise and challenge weak decisions. The owner coordinates the effort, surfaces the risk, and make sure the outcome doesn't disappear between meetings. Now, this is where you need to distinguish 2 problems. An accountability gap means nobody has been clearly assigned responsibility for the outcome. A capability gap means the person responsible lacks the skill, capacity, information, or authority to deliver it. Use 3 quick questions. Who owns the result? What decision can they make without asking permission? And what resource, skill, or capacity is missing? If the first answer is unclear, you've got an accountability problem. If the first answer is clear but the next 2 are weak, you're looking at capability or capacity. Training won't fix a person who has no authority. Naming an owner won't fix a team that is overloaded. So let's make this practical. Choose a small number of high-value outcomes, not every task, email, or internal conversation. Pick the outcomes where delay affects revenue, margin, customer experience, risk, or business value. Then create an ownership map with 6 simple fields. Write down what must be achieved, who is the single accountable owner, who contributes, what deadline matters, how success will be measured, and when progress will be reviewed. That's it. If your map needs a project manager to explain it, you've made it too complicated. Take lead follow-up. Don't write sales to support marketing. Write every qualified inquiry receives a first contact within 1 working day. The sales leader owns that outcome. Marketing contributes accurate lead information and campaign context. The team makes the calls. The measure is the percentage contacted within 1 day alongside the resulting conversation rate. Progress is reviewed weekly with attention on the exceptions. Or take the sales to delivery handover. The useful outcome is not improved communication. It's every new customer starts delivery with agreed scope, success measures, and commercial terms documented. One person owns that handover. Sales and delivery contribute. The deadline is linked to the start date. Missing information becomes visible before it turns into rework, customer frustration, or a margin problem. And for finance, try something that can actually be checked. Invoices are issued accurately within 2 working days of an approved milestone. That creates a result, a clock, and a commercial consequence. Improve invoicing creates a meeting. Let's pick the sweet corn out of that. Define what good looks like, then give somebody the authority to make it happen. What should you do this week? Pick 1 stalled result, not 10. 1. Choose the one with the clearest commercial consequence. Then speak to everyone involved and ask, what do you believe you own? What are you waiting for? What can you decide without permission? What is stopping you acting today? Listen for the pattern. Perhaps the owner is unclear. Perhaps 2 people believe they own the same decision. Perhaps the outcome was never defined. Perhaps somebody is carrying responsibility informally without the authority to deliver it. Or perhaps the owner is obvious but has too much work and not enough support. Don't guess. Follow the evidence. Then name 1 accountable owner, give them the authority required, make the measure visible, remove 1 unnecessary approval, and review the result after 7 days. 7 days, not 7 months. Time kills deals, and it kills improvement programs when nobody checks whether anything changed. At that review, don't ask only whether everyone followed the process. Ask whether the outcome improved. Did response time fall? Did conversion rise? Did rework reduce? Did cash arrive sooner? Did the customer experience become more consistent? If not, investigate the design, the capacity, and the capability. An owner is not a scapegoat. They are the clearest place to start solving the problem. This matters well beyond tidier handovers. Clear ownership can improve revenue conversion, protect margin, and free managers from chasing work. It gives people confidence about where decisions sit. It also reduces the risk that the business only performs when the owner is involved in every important conversation. That is important for investors and for anyone thinking about an eventual exit. A business that depends on one heroic individual is harder to scale, harder to transfer, and harder to value. A business with clear decisions, visible outcomes, and capable leaders is more resilient and much easier to have confidence in. Growth leaks where responsibility is shared but authority is absent. The fix is not to document everything. Name the outcome, name the owner, give them the authority, define the measure, and check the result quickly. If you want a starting question for your next leadership meeting, ask this. Which important outcome is currently living between 2 departments? Let the silence do some work. Then choose one and just get it done. Thanks for listening to Why Businesses Stop Growing. If this episode made you think differently about your business, follow the show and share it with another owner, CEO, or senior leader whose team is stuck between departments. Until next time, keep asking why. Understand thoroughly, assess independently, and recommend clearly.